So obviously, you know, you've raised me, you've brought me up, and I've lived with you for 19 years. So you've obviously noticed things like the way I dress and the way I act. And to be honest, this is not easy for me to say, but it's something that I have to say because I can't keep silent about it anymore. So basically, in terms of my gender, I pretty much don't feel like I have one. I feel pretty genderless. This is not something that I'm choosing, this is not something that I want to happen. It's actually something that's made me pretty depressed and angry, just simply from having, you know, the thoughts that I have been having about this gender realisation. You know, it has been something that I have been thinking about for a long time. It's not just like a snap judgment. Also, it's something that's really hard for me to talk about because it's not something that's normal. It's not something that many people have heard of. It's definitely not something that I would have wanted to happen to me or you guys. But basically, you know, I don't fit into either male or female category, regardless of, I guess, the way I was born in the body that I am in. I'm trying to kind of make this simpler for you, because obviously I've had months and months and months to research and discover different gender expressions and things. It does mean that I would like you to change pronouns and things like that. I mean, obviously, like I said, I don't fit into either category, so I'd prefer to be known as your child rather than your son or your daughter, and I'd prefer to be they and them instead of he or she. And obviously this is a lot to get your heads around. I appreciate it if you tried. Also, it's obviously hard to use gender neutral options all the time, so if you had to choose, I would prefer to be categorised under male variations than female ones. So like son instead of daughter, really, he instead of she. Also, for a couple of weeks, I have started using my male name, which I would like you guys to carry on, really. It's Jack. You know, people say it suits me. I just kind of hope you approve of the name. Just please try to not use female pronouns, really, because it is something that I've realised does really upset me and get to me, because it's not the way that I feel. Obviously I do still have a lot of female traits, and I've still got a lot of masculine traits. I'm not changing the person that I am. I'm just wanting to feel more comfortable in the world, really. You know, I have been to see a therapist about this, you know, after explaining my emotions about and thought process towards this for an hour. They actually said that they would support any decisions that I have in regards to my gender, and that it's all pretty emotionally sound thoughts that I've been having. I'm also potentially looking into taking male hormones, but that's just to help me feel more comfortable in myself, and that's also the same with the chest surgery that I'm considering, but obviously none of these major changes will happen for at least a year anyway. I've made another video on this channel which kind of describes the way that I feel about my gender a lot better than this. To summarise this, it's I don't have a gender. I prefer neutral alternatives, and just call me Jack from now on, really. You know, obviously this is hard for you to hear, it's hard for me to say, you know, but if you could try, I obviously really appreciate that, because like I said, this is not something that I want to happen. If I could be female and feel female, then I would. I really would, because I hate this. I don't want to feel like this, basically. It's not something that I would have chosen at all. You know, I'll give you guys a while to settle in with the name changes and stuff. You know, this is pretty set in stone as to how I am going to live the rest of my life, really, to feel more comfortable. And that's what it's about, really. You know, I shouldn't have to not feel comfortable in the way that I am. Obviously, I'll tell Ella myself, and probably just show Hannah this video. And as for Bo and Bobby and Grandma, I don't even want to think about that right now. I just hope you guys can accept it, and I guess understand as much as you can. That'd be cool.